Hagenberg, most of the guys, they basically started off with they call it Sportstrecken, which was basically measuring people running, on the Wiener Prater or whatever. They thought this was the perfect idea. They got funding for that idea, but I guess it wasn't because of the idea, but because the guys were very convincing. And during the process of implementing their Sportstrecken stuff, they found out that the mobile development is something which they're really good in, and their mobile app is something which really goes through the roof. So they decided to basically stop the first idea they had and went forward with the new stuff, which is now very, very successful. This is 30 people, or more actually, and they are internationally recognized. And this is just because they are good guys and looked at the market and saw which was going on. So, having said that, I just have to agree on what you said. It's very important to have a good team and focus on the market.
There's an additional very good example. Rantastic, they were also in the incubator, and we worked together. And the first to continue the history about it, the first thing was they were really only technical oriented. They tried they were geographical tracking rally cars, and there was no market. This was the first idea when they came. They were students from Hagenberg, technical students, 3 technical students, and they were really nearly stopping the project, and then they were thinking about, okay, rally cars are not that big a challenge. The market is too small. It's not the right thing. From the technical perspective, it was really great 5 years ago, but therefore was no real market. And this is exactly the story I want to tell you. They changed their model. They were doing it like he told you just now. They thought about, okay, who can use it and how can I use this technology? How can I use this experience I just got from my first developments? And they changed it, and they came in the right direction. And this was a success story from Rantastic.
Stefan, you know the topic from the view of a founder and also from the view of an investor, because as you told us before, you were a partner at i5 Invest. We talked about the team before and the importance of the team. What are other important criteria to get an investor?
Well, I guess it very much depends on the type of investor you're looking for, and as was said before, at a very early stage where most of you are, at this point it's very difficult to approach any institutional investor at all, because most of the institutional investors or venture capital funds, they typically tend to look at something they call traction, and tractions, what they mean with traction is how the product performs on the market, how many users you get, how it develops, how fast they're always looking for this hockey stick curve, and once they see the bottom of the hockey stick curve, they only get excited. So if you have something to show, you have some figures going up, some stuff which shows that there's early success. This is probably the most convincing thing for anyone. I'm aware that it is very difficult because most of the people need some funding before they really get there, because you have to spend some time to get there. So until then, the only real thing I can say again is basically you need to come up with some good presentations, some good early prototype, I guess, and convince the guys of the opportunity and try to understand what they really want. That's something which is very important, really, to try to understand what the investor wants and how the investor thinks. Because different investors look for different things. Some people say, we don't need a business plan at all. Just if you have a business plan, I don't talk to you because I don't want to have a business plan. And others say, the most important thing is to have a business plan. So that's why there's not one single answer to that.
Okay, just telling a little bit of my experience. So, first of all, we have to have a great idea, and that's not very easy because there are many ideas around. But to have really a good idea, which is focused, which is unique, you have to think about it. So, then the team, as already mentioned, you have to have a team. I have so many contacts to entrepreneurs who are alone, and believe me, there's no chance to do any company alone. You can't do everything. That's impossible. Coming to the investment side, I would say there are first of all your own money. You have to invest your own money, which means it depends how much money you have. But nobody will follow you if you are on the safe side. You understand what I mean? If you're saying, well, I have the money for myself, I don't invest my own money, I just wanted to have you investing in my startup. The signal is, I don't believe what I am doing. So you have to invest your own money first. Second, it's the money, as I call it, from FFF, family, friends, and fools. So maybe you will find some friends and family members who will give you money. And here my recommendation is not to get the money as a private person, but to get the money in the company, with a contract. So there's, of course, the personal relationship with your friends and your family, but it's, again, in addition, a legal relationship with the company. Okay? That means you have to have a company. I have so many contacts to people saying, "Oh, I would found a company if you would give me money." Forget it. If you don't trust in your idea to really start and to really found a company, why should somebody invest in your idea? So, okay, family, friends, and fools. And then you have to make it happen, not only proof of concept, but also proof of market, as you said before, with this traction and some first users, so you can really show that your idea is functioning. That's my really belief. I know that's very, very difficult, but believe me, there is always a way. There are always some fools out there. There are always some possibilities to really reduce your life costs. Yeah, you can sell your car because you don't need it. Yeah, etc., etc. So believe me, if you really believe in your idea, it's possible. And then the next is really, okay, business angels. Business angels are very, very complicated guys because they have no stress. They have time enough. Okay, they just have a look at this startup and that startup and do some discussions there and there. And it's a hard job from an entrepreneur's perspective because it's taking so much time. It's taking so much resources. At the end of the day, the business angel is saying, I don't invest in your company, I invest in another one. It's okay from the business angel's point of view, but you have lost another 3 months and I don't know how much I have. So, the best way then is, I suppose, really to show the figures. Then maybe the business angels are coming. And if the business angels are coming, the problem is, what about your valuation of the company? Are you saying, well, my company is just 1 million worth? That's it. You give me $100 and we'll give you 10%. Is that the way? Then we are discussing about valuations. I hate those discussions. So my suggestion is, as we did at Walpole, we have a convertible. So what does it mean? We have a convertible. So people are paying us money and will get the right for the Series A when the venture capitalist is coming. They can change their money to shares with a discount. You see the model? So the valuation is then done in the future when you really can make a valuation of a company. There you have users and you have proven the market, and then other people giving you money before can change those money towards shares. So that's my experience. And to be successful, you have to talk to them in parallel, not in sequence. That's the last suggestion I have. So just start, talk to business angels, talk to fools, talk to venture capitalists. So the venture capitalists have the chance to look what is your traction. And then, okay, hopefully your network is strong enough that somebody will invest in your company. Well, a little long, I'm sorry.
Fritz, I guess you did believe in your companies. How did you finance them? Just by yourself, or?
Yeah, it was really funny listening to Christian because he mentioned everything I was thinking about. To come back to this point, we do finance our company on the beginning on our own. how do we do it? We did it yeah, by family, by friends. We saved money because we worked different jobs. I worked as a medical doctor, for example, and quitted my job because I really believed in diagnosia. And my family wasn't really, were not really happy because they, financed my whole studies and everything, and everybody wanted to become a great doctor. And then I said, okay, I make some internet business. And for my old conservative parents, it was just a kick in the ass. And I told them, okay, I want to do this. Do you support me? And it was a really hard discussion. And after proving that a lot of other colleagues, who also founded Diagnosia, and they got the chance from their parents and the chance from their friends to get some money and to get over the month and pay their monthly fees and rent and everything. My parents also agreed and gave me some money, and with my savings we invested, I don't know, it was 50K about. And then the next approach was we need some extra funding, because 50K for 4 or 5 people, we can't really go over some rounds and can't build up a big business. So there was the AWS pre-seed call, as Dietmar mentioned, and it's perfect possibilities for creative people going over there and present their ideas. You have to have a great idea, a good team. Our team was set up by some internet entrepreneurs who still got some experience working also with Stefan in 1 to 3 people and Triple. So our team was experienced, and our idea was not very sexy, because just publishing some drug data online is not a really fancy idea, I know. But as we can prove that a lot of people were searching for drugs online, and they inform about drugs online, and we got, I don't know, 5,000 or 6,000 people per day after 1 month. We could prove, obvious, that we are on the right way. And with the team and our business plan and the proof of concept, we admitted our business plan over there and get some funding from the public hand. And with this money, we could easily come over the next month. Then we got a business angel who invested in us, which was more or less easy, because we could show the traction, what you are talking about. And if you can do it, it's not that big deal to get one for a small ticket. And now, I think 3 months ago, we got a FFG funding, because we did some technical special innovation for data mining and machine learning tool. And that's all the reasons, or all the causes our company was founded. And I think it's some example from one of a guy like you, putting everything together what actually was said before.
Thank you. Andreas, Chris talked about the valuation of the company before. You are an expert in that field, I would say. How do you normally come to a value?
Allow me to do 3 points before my answer. The one has been team, typically very psychological in the investor's sense. You minimum need 2 of you. The one is the dreamer. You have to believe in the thing you do. And typically the investor says, okay, he's the one who's only dreaming. You need the one who is the realistic one for the investors outside, who takes his look on the numbers. Minimum 2. The second thing is the number of ideas you get on the table as a venture capitalist and so on. The typical quota is you see 100 concepts and you do 2 of them. So don't be
sad of it if you're one of the 98, go to the next one. And the third thing had been the thing I called find some leading name. There are very a lot of investors in the end of the chain, the banks itself, they do not know your business. They can't do that, and they don't have the money to do lots of studies before they give, let's say, 1 million. Because these really global studies, you need 100,000, 200Ks and so on. So what they do is, who believes in it? Oh, they have a partner, Microsoft. They have a future customer. And if this guy believes in you, maybe this is good. Maybe I too want to finance it. So find your names and you will find your followers. The valuation. Of course, discounted cash flow method. If you have the best technique, if you have the best thinking of, if you can't put it in cash at the end, the valuation will be 0. So you have to have the possibility to show other people how will the cash come in. What is the total business model? And in the end, you have to say what the sales and what the cost. And the valuation is nothing else than show what how realistic would it be to get this planning in the future, and what's the cash in the end.
Thank you. Dietmar, as we heard before, a lot of startups get some public funding in the beginning, but there comes one time, the critical point where the public funding ends. How can they prepare for this point, and how can they organize their money, and how can you help them with the incubator?
We just have heard it, the incubator can help you. Here it was a really good example. Go out, you have to make money, you have to go really in an early phase, you have to get earnings, and if you got some money in, the evaluation will be higher, and it's a very important point that you really do it very fast. And also I can agree with Christian. I have an example. There was just a startup trying to get into the incubator, and he got accepted, and parallel he was talking with business angels with 2 or 3 parallel, and therefore he got in a situation where he was able to finance it really well. So working on this, not only on this technical stuff, working on financing, working on the customer is really a very important topic, and you have to do it really fast and in an early phase. And I have also some other examples where startups were always looking for fundings and the next FFG and the next one, and they forgot to go out to the market and to get the customer, and this is one of the big errors they made, and they are still not on the market. They closed because they worked away from the customer, and it's a very important point, I think.
Chris, would like to say something?
Yeah, add to this, because it's on the one side it's really great that there's public funding. On the other side, you have to be very, very careful. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to the market and focusing on your idea and make it happen, you can change your business model, because then you'd be a consultant for the public money. You see, you can talk to other people where to get money. So be very careful, stay on track with your idea. And some tiny remark regarding planning and all this financial stuff and all the discounted cash flow and other methods. The problem sometimes really is that you simply don't know. You simply don't know. And then people are coming and telling you, please, we need a business plan for 3 or 5 years. And then you are just taking some figures, some projections, and everybody knows it's completely wrong. it's bullshit. So sometimes, not always, but sometimes, it's better to say, well, here is a huge market, so focus on market studies, on checking how huge your market is. And this is the costs we have, yeah, to make it happen. And this is my traction I have. And let it completely out what revenue you will have. Then you have to find the right business angels and the right investors, right? It's not a bank, it's not the public funds. So maybe you should think to change the country, yeah? So maybe you should go to Silicon Valley, San Francisco, Bay Area, because here it's normal that people are saying, I have a huge idea, disruptive, will change the world. We have little costs, we are already on the way. We have some first customers, we have traction, but we have no idea how the money will come in. So that's the story, for instance, of Instagram. Yeah? Instagram. You heard about that Facebook bought Instagram. So if you have really a disruptive idea, think worldwide and global.
Well, they got traction actually. Instagram got traction. That's what they got to do.
Yeah, they had traction. They had traction. But I don't know the whole story backstage, but I don't think that they ever have made some financial projections how much they will get money into the company following a revenue model. Do you know details on that?
No. I have no clue. I'm still wondering about this price tag really. Yeah, honestly. So just to go, I just thought to go one step back to what we're discussing here. I think what is really key also for any investor and for anyone you want to convince to use your product and to join your company is that you really go back one step and think about what is the problem you're solving. I mean, this sounds very philosophical and very, very easy. However, it's not that easy. How are you solving the problem? What is your value proposition? And how are you really doing that in a great and understandable and easy way? I mean, for example, what I always suggested when I was with this venture capital fund I mean, there's this 90-second pitch and stuff like that, right? So if you can't really tell me in, let's say 30 seconds even, what you're doing and I'm able to understand it, and potentially I'm too stupid, but most likely it's something which is not really clear, and not really clear for you as well. And it's difficult to pitch it to investors, difficult to pitch it to customers, it's difficult to pitch it to people, employees, and people you want to hire. So that's why I'm saying, just going one step back and thinking, what is the real problem? And that's where you're here, I guess, understanding the real problem and understanding the solution. And one more thing, which is a little bit, regarding this financing discussion. There's so many things around this financing. There's this valuation, there's complicated contracts, there's, it's always, in the end, valuation, for example, venture capitalists, they always have a rule of thumb and they don't really care about the valuation. They really always want to have between 20 and 30% in the first round, no matter what the valuation is. If they can spend 2 million, then the valuation is 5 million. If they spend 10 million, then the valuation is all of a sudden 40 million. This is not really logical. It's really a bit weird of a process. And what's just important there is to, as I said before, to understand the guys, how they're working, and that's why, to understand that you need to approach anyone, you need to talk to anyone, you need to be very open about anything you're doing. You need to use the chance and, convince anyone you have about your idea. Come here and talk to anyone from here and ask for a favor and ask for help. And then you're going to get to the right people and going to get the right advices how to go forward, both on financing and on your product overall.
Thanks. Fritz, you founded 2 companies now. Are you thinking about founding other companies? Do you have new ideas or?
Yeah, actually we have founded 3 companies inside half a year. But one is a daughter company and one is a different thing I don't want to talk about. But yeah, you get a lot of ideas and you want to maybe make out of the ideas a new company, but you're still, you are with your baby and you are doing your stuff, but you see there's a new possibility out there, which is maybe the new stuff, or you think that it's a great idea and you also want to do it. And what we do and what a lot of people do, we just incubated, we got a great idea, built a concept, and found some right people, find some investors, and put everything to the new team. And yeah, we just get some small stakes over there. But actually, we are part of this company because it was our idea. We are the co-founders, and in our mindset, it was our idea. But somebody else will do it because it's impossible to have three companies at the same time, because you can't split your body and your brain. So actually, what we did is just gave away the idea and just focusing on one thing. We made a mistake while fundraising. We wanted to raise for both companies together to increase our evaluation, which was actually not really the way the VCs and all the business angels wanted to see. But after splitting the companies and telling our business angels and potential investors that we are not committed at this company, we have some shares, but it's a totally different project, it was able to get money for both companies. So maybe it's a little bit too much for beginning to found different companies, because you're greedy on having different companies, and you want to be a serial entrepreneur because it sounds really cool. It's not really cool because actually you're working the whole week, and it's crazy. And it's not a advice from me to do it like this. Just focusing on one project and go back to the ground and fulfill your ideas, working on everything, building a great team together, finding the right people partnering with you. I think the potential and the possibility that this company will exit or will be successful is more important, and is more easy than to have three companies at the same time.
Chris, one last topic. I would like to talk about crowdfunding, which is very popular at the moment. Can you just explain it to the audience and tell us what you think about it?
Okay. Who knows what crowdfunding is? Hands up, please. Okay, so there are lots of knowledge there in the room. I think that the first issue is that you have to be very careful to understand what crowdfunding, what type of crowdfunding is out there. So one is, so the principle first is that the crowd, so the community, the people give money to somebody or a group or a company to make something happen. That's the principle, directly. They're giving money. But you have to distinguish. There are the platforms and all these initiatives where it's a donation, a gift, a sponsorship. Yeah. So that's one part of crowdfunding, to gather money for something, but you never see something back. So that's the first part of the crowdfunding issue. The second is that you will get something as a reward. For instance, like Kickstarter is doing. Yeah? Who knows Kickstarter? Which is the most, yeah, okay. So Kickstarter.com, just check it out. There are many projects on that. Projects, for products, some for the cinema, new film, etc., etc. And the people are asking for money, and you can give money and you'll get something back, some packages for a different amount of money. So that's you are getting back some reward. And the real cool thing is if it's equity based. That means to give some money and we'll get some shares, which is not allowed from a legal point of view, as I understand in Europe. But there is a change in America. Do you know the details perhaps? Is there somebody? What I am knowing is that I think in March Obama signed a law that it is now allowed. So what I'm expecting is that this is one of the major trends, that people are directly investing in startups because also of the community effect. If my friend, and a friend of my friend on Facebook is joining and saying and recommending, this is a cool idea, I have spent some money into it, other people will follow. And this is very important from my point of view, because the other industry on the finance side is not working any longer, because banks will not give you any money. They give you money if you don't need it, right? They even give you a credit card if you're starting a company, because they are arguing sometimes, well, there's money on the bank account, but you maybe do not have the money when the first invoice of the credit card company is coming, yeah? So a terrible, terrible thing. So I think that's the future, that people engage with the entrepreneurs and really give them money and get shares back.
More fools.
More fools, right. And this will come to Europe, I don't know, in 2 years, 5 years, maybe quicker. But I believe in that.
I just think that, as I said, I just think it's, I mean, you know, I'm not sure if I would recommend anyone investing through crowdfunding, really. That's the only thing I would say. For a startup, it's perfectly okay if you're able to finance yourself through that, but I really do think a lot of these guys are fools.
Yeah, but it depends. Yeah, where the fools really are at the end of the day. But I did already some you know, some $100 there and $500 there just to test a little bit what's going on, and it's quite interesting because at the end of the day you check out who is investing in which project, in which company, who are the guys. You can follow, and at the end of the day, I recognize that somebody is following me. Yeah? More and more people are following me, so you have to, of course, be very careful with your own reputation on the net. That's for sure. But I believe in crowdfunding.
As you talked about Europe, crowdfunding as an idea is already working in Germany. Not in the same principle with shares, but a very successful story had been social banking. And I talked once to this guy of one very successful new bank, only being in the market for I think 20 years now. They have no idea where to give the money they get. The funding is the idea. There are lots of people out there looking on this financial crisis and say, if I have the chance to get my money doing worthful things, I'll be with it. And I also accept interest rates beneath the normal market, only to be sure this will do good things. So I do think with you, in nowadays it is only a small group in the population, but it's a growing group.
Thank you. Our first hour has nearly gone, so are there any questions from the audience? No one?
It's always the first have to start. Then it's you know, it's a discussion. Come on. Who wants to be the first? Yeah.
So, what do you do as a chief visionary officer?
That's really great. Great question. By the way, that wasn't my idea to call me chief visionary officer. It was another guy saying, "Well, you have so many visions. You should be our chief visionary officer." And now I'm saying, "Well, I will like and love to join a company or an entrepreneur or a team to be the visionary officer." What I'm doing is quite simple. I'm your sparring partner. I'm the sparring partner of an entrepreneur at a very, very early stage where nobody else believes in that entrepreneur and in that idea. Because sometimes it's like traveling on the wrong side of the highway. That's the feeling most of the entrepreneurs with great ideas really have. And I'm joining you on the wrong side of the highway and try to help you not to make an accident. Okay? So that's the first part. And the second is, because I have a good network, I will help you with the contacts. I will help you to speed up, to accelerate. Yeah. Because time to market is one great issue in most of the startups. Yeah. So stay crazy and then go and make it happen. So then other people are coming in to really push it forward.
I think it's very important to have guys like you have here in your team, this is very important. We had this opportunity to have Christian in one of our teams, and he's challenging these teams. And they have so much experience, and you have to try to get these mentors. And as he told you, they have a really good network, they have lots of experience, and they really can help you. And they are the opener for different topics, and this is very important.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
There was one question. There was just a question concerning, is there a vision that you totally missed out on and you said, that's never going to work out, and it worked out? It's just curiosity.
Okay, I would say if you have a vision for an innovation and you can't find anybody else on the earth sharing your vision, then maybe it's really a problem with you, okay? So you maybe should go to a doctor, maybe you can recommend some.
Are you referring to my idea?
But
Are you referring to my idea?
for me as a person, the crazier you are, the fewer people you find share your vision, the more it's interesting for me. Because real innovations are always starting at this. If you have something everybody understands, yeah, everybody understands, but nobody will buy at the end of the day. That's the problem. Yeah? You can't explain the small difference to existing solutions if you are not really advanced in your innovation and your vision. So for me, it's then really attractive to start talking with you if it's really, really crazy. Yeah? And then to make it happen. So I'm not the guy discussing all the time. I want to see you going your way, and then I can help you. If you just want a philosophical, I don't know, match of brains, then that's not good. We can do it at 2 o'clock at the bar with some beers, yes, but not on a business schedule.
So one second. Just adding to that. I think you guys have a perfect opportunity. I mean, we're talking about financing here. Although I guess you have the chance to start off something now without a lot of need of financing, because you're in a unique position, just getting out, being very young, not having a lot of costs, being able to start some crazy stuff without having all the fixed costs of a family or whatever, or a house or whatever it is. And this is if you think about all the great ideas, and this is what I wanted to add, if you think all the great ideas, all the huge companies were started by young guys, from a Microsoft to a Facebook to a Google. This wasn't guys like me. I will never ever start a company which is really huge. I'm just, too experienced, kind of. I know what doesn't work. I don't want to, you have to be some kind of a fool and a little bit naive and just go off. I'm too old for that. I'm not that old. But I saw too many failures. So that's why I'm saying, you have a great chance at this point of your life. So, if you either, I would really want to motivate you to either, continue doing your own stuff which you started, or don't go to Ernst & Young. Sorry for that. But either start your own stuff or go to a startup where you really, see how it's going to work. You're going to have you will never miss that experience.
Thank you. I think there was a question at the back.
Yeah. You talk about crazy. The crazier the better. What is crazy for you? Can you give us an example?
For me, Facebook was crazy. Really, when I saw it the first time, we looked at stuff like that at Target Partners. We had this 120 million euro venture capital fund. We didn't look at Facebook. We didn't happen to see Facebook really. But we saw StudiVZ, we saw all that stuff, and we always thought this is never ever going to be able to monetize. I mean, people are going to be there and do some weird stuff and talk about the personal stuff. This is never ever going to be able to be a big company. This was completely crazy to me. Twitter was even worse. I mean, things like that. I mean, there's so many things. This was really great ideas, and a lot of these ideas, were done by young guys and finally worked out.
But you saw the traction already, didn't you?
Well, you're completely right. But I was still not convinced that it would ever be able to monetize it. And it wasn't my sole decision, obviously. I wasn't the one who spent the money there. But I thought, back then I thought it wouldn't be able to monetize.
Of course, it's difficult with this craziness, to answer with this craziness. What I'm always looking for is a disruptive business idea. Disruptive means that it's not a linear extrapolation of something that is already there. So if I see some idea in a kernel, yeah, where you can really change a whole market, then it's interesting for me. And you have to be very crazy, because everybody will say that can't function because there are so many players in the market. Yeah? And that's interesting for me. I have to say that because you know, I'm living in Linz, I'm an Austrian, and I know all the behavior here. And the problem we have sometimes here in Austria is, if you have a great idea, talking to 10 people, every of these 10 people have 10 reasons why not. So it's 100 against 1, right? So what I like in an environment that's exactly the same issue now with the San Francisco Bay Area, and I try to stay as often as I can now in America. It's a little bit different. If you talk to 10 people will say, wow, great idea, which is okay. Maybe they don't understand what they're talking, but the spirit is different, you know. And some of them say, well, I know some other guy, he has a similar idea, or just I've been connecting you to them. So it's a different approach. You're not feeling alone. That's the message. So maybe you should just check it out, what will work for you best, yeah? Buy a ticket, test it out for I don't know, 2 weeks or so.
Definitely. Yeah, one quick comment on that. I was saying something what you're saying. I think it's also an opportunity. I mean, it's very difficult over here, but I mean, that's why, you know, if you manage to, you know, go through in Austria, then you for sure will be one of the few. So, you know, if you manage to do it, then there's a high you know, there's less competition and there's a better chance for that. So, you know, not everything is bad here.
No.
Thank you. There was a question?
Yeah, for example, if there are 2 guys in the team, for example, a business and a tech guy, how to make the decision how to split the shares, 50-50 or 51-59, how to make that decision if there are 2 guys in the team?
Typically?
What's your worthiness in the company?
Pardon?
What's your worthiness in the company? And this is the way you have to split. Because if one of the guys is one you can buy on the market, and if your friend is not here tomorrow, you can buy another one. Why give him shares only because I can pay his monthly money? Salary, thank you. The worthiness for the company itself. Who brings it forward?
I think it's also important to get shares. You can also split it 50-50, because if it won't work, then you have to break your startup. Then someone has to go. We have it really often that they just start 2 people and they have split it exactly 50-50, and after a while it won't work, because you really have to work each day, the whole time, have to do lots of decisions. One is going in this direction, the other one wants to go there, and at one certain point they stop, and one is still continuing with the project and the other one is going on.
Maybe one thing, if you do the work with a friend of you, why not working 50-50? The main thing is take the rules before starting. What will happen if you want to split? What's afterwards with the company itself? Who is able to, if you want to break, what will happen? Whom of you will have the money to buy out the other one? Like a marriage, typically in justice, think about what will happen if it doesn't function. Fritz and Stefan?
Just one. experience I made with one of my companies. Stefan, you know, or not, what happened. Yeah, at the beginning we started to think about who is more worth and who can do better, and everybody thinks he's the best and can perform best, and it's the worst discussion you can ever have with your friends, because you say directly into their faces, I think I'm not convinced that you're a good businessman. Yeah? And friendships break up, and it's always I think it's the worst experience while funding a company is the discussions about the shares. And we started with different shares. We got some troubles, like a lot of companies have. So we split it up, or one guy split it up. And what was the result of it? We got 3 other guys, which different shares. And the guy with the lowest share said, okay, I'm working the same time, I'm receiving the same amount of money, I'm doing all the technical stuff, and you have, I don't know, 10% more shares than me. So he was not really motivated. And this all leads, or this all led to the result that we did equal shares for every co-founder, or for every founder, because everybody is motivated with the same power. Everybody feels that he has the equal part of the company like the others. And if there is one who has less, the performance is not good because he's not motivated. And everything brings you not to the point you want to go there. So for me and for the companies we did, the founders always have equal shares.
I would also go for 50-50 and implement some kind of vesting schedule. I mean, if you never heard about the word vesting, vesting usually means that you only earn your shares over time. You know, usually it's an 2, 3, 4 year period. So if you leave the company after half a year, only part of your shares, you have to give the rest of the shares, and this is usually for a nominal amount, to your partner, if he wants to continue. And this is something I saw a lot of times, and actually, you guys implemented something like you didn't implement it if you ask me the right way. However, this is something which you implemented as well, and I think this is something which helped to at least to be able to continue with the company.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, if you have an idea and if you want to try out this idea in the market, like which form of cooperation, especially in Austria, would you recommend to do that? Would you recommend doing a limited in UK, like where the risk is low? Because probably if you just want to try out the idea, I mean, for sure you can be can think that the idea will work, but probably you don't know before you go to the market. So you probably don't want to invest a 35K. So what's your opinion about that?
The question is why you need a company at all. I mean, if it's really you and a friend or whatever, and you trust each other, and you just start off and see be able to form the company later. An easy way obviously is a UK limited because it's so cheap and easy to do it. Also, whereas other countries, I guess, where it's a little bit easier. But I would also there's this Personengesellschaft. But this is actually doesn't make too much difference if you do a Personengesellschaft or don't do anything. And then at some point you probably have your GmbH or limited.
And in the beginning you need to do everything as you do it with 100%. Even if you go to a bank and you have a limited company, GmbH in Austria, they want your personal guarantee, so it doesn't make any difference.
Got it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would go for the same argument, because the problem sometimes is that you try to save money, but on the other side you have to spend money. So if you're just going for a GmbH in Austria, which means that you have to pay half of the Stammkapital, yeah, it's 70,500 bucks, and you have a team, and you have solved the shares, okay, and so for each part it's not so much money. Then I would prefer to go for the GmbH, because then, from the other side, the others see, yeah, you are really on the way. You believe in your idea. And I've seen so many entrepreneurs having, bought the computer, having bought the flight to some conference there, and they have all the receipts and all the travel expenses, and they have all the Excel lists, etc., trying to put it into a company then, which is hard to find because